How are we doing, guys? And welcome back to the fans' post-match debate. It's Leeds United 1, Crystal Palace 0. But you already know that, guys. You will already know that. But this is your opportunity, members of All Leeds TV, to jump in and give your thoughts on last night's madness. CK, it just looked like being a quiet night at the library, to be honest. A 0-0, nothing, neither here nor there. Draw, and then Mark Guehi decides to play beach volleyball in the middle of his own box.
Yes, if I was a Palace fan, mate, I'd be fuming at that because it's just ridiculous. It really is. Can you imagine the backlash Coops would have got for that if it was the other way around? I think overall, over the 90 minutes, mate, we just about deserved the win. I thought we were the better team overall. So yeah, it was a great night. I mean, Ellen Road went through weird stages last night of being loud and then being quiet and sort of on edge.
Being nervy.
It was a strange one, but quality as usual. Wins a win, innit?
Well, that's it. I mean, I really don't care if it was a scrappy win or if it was a deserved win, or I don't really care at this point. It might sound a very anti-Bielsa kind of thing to say, but it doesn't really matter. Just get the wins on the board, and that's it. You know, I think in terms of a pressure moment like that, I don't think there's anyone that want on that penalty more than Rafinha, to be honest. I think a lot of us expected it to be Rodrigo on the penalty, but to be honest, in that kind of moment of the game, the pressure's on. You want someone who's got ice in their veins. Talk to me about the penalty, because I mean, the stutter between him stuttering and taking the shot, that is the longest. What was probably only about 2 seconds felt like about a minute between the two. I still can see it now. It's just slow motion. It's madness.
Yeah, I said in my post-match, mate, it was like the longest second ever, and you felt the whole ground take a collective breath in when he did the little hop. Everyone was like, and then it obviously just erupted. But it was looking back, because I thought he might have got a bit lucky there. But actually, he stood the keeper up with that little hop, skip and a jump, and the keeper was just flat-footed. It was a great penalty. And yeah, you're right. There's no one else I'd want in that situation more than Rafinha. The lad just doesn't understand pressure. Doesn't bother him.
I'm all for it. If we are in a battle this season, that's what you need. A difference maker like that. But obviously, I think it was Adam Forshaw who officially got man of the match. I think that's pretty fair. I thought he was absolutely unreal yesterday. Unreal. Like he has been the last 4 games, really, in all honesty.
I think there's probably 4 players out there, maybe even 5, who you wouldn't argue against being man of the match, and that's Dallas, who was absolutely superb against Zaha.
Yeah.
Cooper,
he polished him.
Cooper was superb. Obviously, Adam Forshaw he's an exceptional footballer. Rafa and Dan James as well was right up there. I thought he was really good last night.
Yeah, I thought that as well. I thought certainly in terms of just causing Ward problem after problem after problem on that right-hand side. Well, on his right-hand side, he was just relentless, wasn't he, Dan James, yesterday? Yeah. And I think the big thing for me with Dan James, and they're going to talk about it in the preview for the Brentford game, is that you look at Dan James' best football of his career so far. It's been for Swansea and it's been for Wales. And one thing I disagree with is judging Dan James before he's had a chance to play with Patrick Bamford. You know, you've seen at Swansea, he had McBurney in there in the middle of the box kind of thing, always making that movement. I know McBurney's nowhere near the quality of Patrick Bamford, but he's a similar type of striker, just nowhere near as good as Bamford in that regard. Then you've got people like Kiefer Moore as well, just real target men in that box. And I think that's what suits Dan James. And look, I wouldn't describe Tyler Roberts as a target man, but he's a bit more of a natural centre forward, you know, for Dan James to create for. And I just think that massively helps Dan James a little bit yesterday. And he knows Tyler's game, obviously from this time with Wales, from his time at Leeds. You know, I just felt it looks a little bit more natural in terms of James on the left, Roberts through the middle, and we created more from that, I felt.
Yeah, I said on my post-match, mate, and I thought Tyler did pretty well last night without getting it. Well, he did have a clear-cut chance in that first half from the Dallas cross, which he should have connected with. But apart from that, I thought his all-round game was pretty good last night. It's one of the better performances we've seen from Tyler recently, definitely.
Yeah, I thought it was. To be honest, I don't know about you. I was a little bit surprised we made the Click substitution at half-time. I thought Click was doing okay first half. I thought Forshaw was our best midfielder by a distance on the night, but I thought that midfield was working quite nicely. Certainly first 25, 30 minutes, it had a really nice balance to it. I understand why Rodrigo came on to give us that little bit more attacking impetus, maybe a little bit more creativity, a bit more of a goal threat from midfield. But I'll tell you someone who did impress me yesterday, considering what happened in that first 5 minutes of them coming on. Junior Firpo, I thought actually did well when he came on. In terms of getting that book in after 2 minutes, let's just say Ellen Rose was groaning about that. It was a really dangerous free kick to give away. But after that, considering he's on the booking, considering how dangerous IU looks in that first half, I thought Junior Firpo, to be fair, give him credit, one of his best games for Leeds so far for me.
Yeah, me and Jack were talking about Firpo after the game, and we were both like, nah. And I think we were both judging it off in getting that yellow card coming just on. But I watched the game back when I got home last night because I was buzzing from the result. And actually, he did grow into the second half. And going forward, he showed a lot of promise last night. So
there was one ball he put in that you're thinking if Patrick Bamford's there, it's probably a goal. Well, it's not just, maybe not a goal, but it's a big chance. That's something that Bamford's feeding off. There's one of those in that second half, definitely.
Yeah, definitely. There's definitely more to come from him, I think. As we've always said about Dan James as well, they need a bit of time. And Firpo's not had an easy start, injuries, COVID. So, yeah, on reflection, he needs a bit more time. And hopefully there is a player in there. I'm sure there is. Yeah.
Well, yeah, I think there has to be. If he's played, I know this old cliche, he's played for Barcelona, but I say the same about Rodrigo. There's a player in there. You don't have that kind of start to your career if there's not a player there. It's just you just don't. Whether he develops into that player, we'll wait and see. But there's got to be some kind of talent there. No matter what happens with Junior Firpo, there's got to be some talent there for him to have done what he has done so far in his career. But that Melier save as well, that's got to get a mention.
Jesus, mate, honestly, it's lucky he's got arms like an octopus.
It is like a Spider-Man thing, wasn't it? It was probably more Spider-Man. When someone's like fell off a building or something, and Spider-Man does this, what's the name, with the web and that lot, just goes and that lot and pulls them back in. It was like that with Melier.
I went through.
I mean, the timing of it. A second later, it's back of the net. A second earlier, he's gone too early on it. It's madness.
I went through every emotion in that sort of 1.5 seconds of anger because I thought it was in, and sadness, and then sheer delight when the Palace fans celebrated and it didn't cross the line.
Oh, dear me. But I tell you someone who I'm not a particular fan of. Wilfried Zaha, I've got to say. He been a while since we've come up against Wilfried Zaha, kind of that live, I know last season, but we weren't at the grounds last season, but you do realise when you actually watch Wilfried Zaha, actually watching him, not on TV, but live kind of thing, he does moan a lot, doesn't he? He loves a good moan, doesn't he? He moans more than us.
He just never stopped whinging from minute 1 to minute 94, 95 about everything. I don't know, is he unhappy? Is his personal life in a bad way or something?
Is he unhappy?
He's just miserable. Like, Rafinha always looks angry on a pitch, but you can tell he's enjoying his football. Wilf Zaha looks like he wants to be anywhere but on a football pitch half the time.
Is he happy? What stop to that?
I'm just concerned about his welfare, mate, because he looked a sad little bunny last night.
Well, I was surprised at Palace, to be honest, mate. I think they were a better team than what they showed last night, but I thought they'd be better than what they were last night, to be honest. I thought they were pretty below par, in all honesty.
To be fair, mate, if you look at the results that Palace have had away from home this season, beat City, and I think they've drawn against Arsenal and West Ham away so far as well this season. they're a very organised outfit under Vieira. You can see that, and they've got some threat up front. Conor Gallagher, Edouard, Ayew, who had a decent enough game. He gave Pascal some issues in the first half. They're a decent outfit, and it wasn't a smash and grab last night by us. We did over 90 minutes deserve the result for me. So it's more promising. I find it quite a promising result that if we've just got to follow it up now against Brentford. And if we play like we did last night against that Brentford team, then there's a win there to be had, isn't there?
Yeah, I think so. I think that Benteke miss as well.
50p head.
How? It's hard to do that. I think it's harder to do that and actually get it on target. To play it that wide as well.
I don't know. There was Llorente threw himself to the floor, so it wasn't him. Meslier was miles away, so it wasn't him. It was just a 50p head. But I said, we got away with him not scoring that. But to be fair, they also got away with Rodrigo not scoring as well, because he should be burying that. So
he tries to take it round the keeper. It's like, put your foot through it. Put your foot through it, Rods. Put your foot through it. But takes it around the keeper, and it wasn't very Spanish international, Spanish number 9 kind of style finishing. But look, we get the chance. We're getting chances. That's the better thing. That was the thing yesterday. We did have a lot of. I think Forshaw had one where he kind of just scrapes the post and that lot, and you're thinking, that's better. That's more like it from Leeds. And I think even the stats-wise, I'm not always a massive fan of the stats, but it was more like it Leeds yesterday. Dominating possession, twice as much of the ball, twice as many shots, a lot more on target. All the play kind of with Leeds on the night. It's a strange one. It's a really strange one, but not a strange one. It's a delightful one. But in terms of compared to what we're doing against Brighton, it's like a completely different world kind of thing. But I won't go as far to say as what we did to Palace, what Brighton did to us. I don't think we were that good, but I still thought it was a much improved performance yesterday. But yeah, I think we'll open the lines up in a second. Anyway, guys, just wanted to say as well, something that's drawn to my attention from my man Michael 20. Come on, guys. I mean, yesterday apparently there's some trolling going on during the watch along. I mean, we're all Leeds fans at the end of the day. Even if we disagree with each other, there's a respectful way of saying it. You don't need to turn to name calling and threats or whatever was going on last night. Michael's a mate. I was gutted to hear that, to be honest. But one of those things. We disagree. But there's no need for that, guys. No need for that. We'll might have to start banning if we do see that. But anyway, I'm going to open up the phone lines. Well, not the phone lines. It's not a phone show, is it? It's in TalkSport, is it?
It's not children in need, mate. Jesus.
All East TV in need.
I'm in need of a new throat, to be honest, after last night.
I was going to say, you've been going for it singing yesterday, haven't you?
Yeah, mate, yeah. Well, Rhiannon ended up coming and standing with me as well, so yeah, we were having a mad one. It was good.
Or was it you just from shouting at Zaha for like 90 minutes?
Shit, there was 2 or 3 times where Rhiannon just looked at me at the stuff I was shouting, like, I don't even know if that makes sense what you just shouted there, but we'll go with it.
Yeah, but they're the best shouts, though, the ones that don't make any sense. Like, the thing is as well, you've got to think about for your throat. We've just played Brighton as well, so you've had Morpay and Zaha in the space of 4 days. Your throat needs time to recover from that, doesn't it? It needs time to recover. So, guys, I'm just going to put the link out in the YouTube community page. Bear with me 1 second, guys. So if you want to jump on, guys, this is your opportunity if you are an All Leeds TV member. Bear with us 1 second. Just have a quick look. Okay, so the link is on our YouTube community page. If you are a All Leeds TV member, this is your chance to have your say on last night's result or anything really.
One thing that I would like to say, because we questioned it last week, and I think it's good that we respond to it. I thought Calvin's interview after the game was very good. Putting to bed this rumour that came from pundits that him and Bielsa have fallen out. Clearly not the case. Clearly he's still got a lot of respect for the manager. Whether his head's been turned or not is still questionable. We don't know, but he put a performance in last night. That first tackle in the first 5 minutes on Conor Gallagher set the tone for Calvin last night. Absolutely smashed him. We're back.
No, definitely. It was needed, wasn't it? First minute of the game, just bang, basically just bang. That was it, really. It was no, it was delightful. It was delightful. It was much more like it set the tempo really in the game. But we have got our usual guests. So I'm going to jump to Ethan first. Ethan was straight in within seconds of me putting out the link. So let's let Ethan in. He's desperate. He's desperate to have his say. He's desperate to have his say. Ethan, how are you, mate?
Oh, wow.
Good. Deserved win yesterday for you?
Yeah, it was funny.
You said we'd win. And as always, Ethan, we delivered because you said we'd win.
Yeah. I was there too.
Love that. See, more reason. Were you in that? Were you in the cheese wedge, like just shouting
No.
rude stuff like Chris Kelly?
No.
Do you dislike Zahar as much as us two?
Yeah.
What a way to start. That's good. It's not just us two, then. It's not just, we haven't just got this agenda against the best player for every single opposition team. We haven't got an agenda against them, honestly. It was Harry Kane the other week. It was Morphe the week before. Zahar. Basically, who's going to get it from Brentford, Chris? Who are we going to pick for our Brentford team?
Thomas Frank himself is getting it from
Yeah, that's an easy one, that. Thomas Frank. Oh, dear me. Yeah, that just makes it that makes itself up, doesn't it? That one, Thomas Frank, dearie me. Anyway, Ethan, who impressed you the most last night, or who particularly impressed you?
Get
Dallas. Yeah, Calvin. Sorry there, Ethan, mate. Yeah, Calvin was again. Chris mentioned. I think he's kind of like I think people underestimated Calvin's performance a little bit yesterday. I mean, it was just the fact that Gallagher was that quiet.
Yeah, it was.
But it was more because of, as Chris said, first minute of the game he got absolutely smashed into by KP. But yeah, it was much better off Calvin. And then that interview itself is worth its weight in gold in terms of keeping the fan base settled in that kind of respect. At the end of the day, it was still Jamie Redknapp who stirred all of that, really, if we're being totally honest. It's the
Tim Sherwood.
Yeah, that's of man management. That is Tim Sherwood. Yeah, anyway. Yeah, I mean, they know plenty about winning stuff, don't they? Those two ex-Tottenham players.
No, they're good enough.
Anyway, it's a Tottenham thing, isn't it? It's a Tottenham thing. Yeah. Ethan, would you agree that people like Firpo, Roberts, who've been criticised obviously last week, were better yesterday in terms of their cameos? Jan James as well, another one?
Yeah, they were.
Definitely. And I think something that's worth mentioning is that Dallas was that good last night.
Yeah.
I don't think Aiden's getting straight back into that team all of a sudden, unless Dallas went to left back, because there's no way Dallas is going to drop out of the team.
Got to Nicky.
Well, I mean, do you play someone out of position? But what would you do, Ethan? Would you play Aiden right back, Dallas left back, or Dallas right back, Firpo left back? How would you go about it?
Well, good. Gotta Nicky.
Do you go Aiden right back, Dallas left back?
No, Nicky.
Midfield.
Yeah.
Oh, Dallas into midfield. Okay, that's a shout. To be fair, that's a shout. You can go KP, Forshaw, Dallas. Chris, that sounds like a very hard work in midfield. That's definitely going to put. I mean, it's probably going to. You can run marathons with that midfield, couldn't you? Really?
Yeah. The thing is with that midfield is I wouldn't argue against it because we know Dallas can go and get goals as well, playing ahead of Forshaw and Calvin. And I thought Forshaw played quite high up last night as well. He was so good last night, apart from his shooting.
It's coming now. Goals coming though. He's getting in the positions.
Yeah, definitely.
Against Brentford, hopefully. He celebrates in front of Thomas Frank.
Stuart Dallas is going to score against Brentford.
Oh, dearie me, imagine. Oh. Yeah, it's weird. It's a weird one, that Brentford game. Obviously, the Janssen coming back and all that drama that will obviously come with that and all that. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting. But Ethan, did you see enough from last night to say that we can beat Brentford as well?
Yeah. Cái goal got that guy going to get 0-0. I go will go to get 0-0.
Well, it did feel like it was destined to be 0-0, didn't it?
Yeah.
And then luckily, Mark Guehi was playing a totally different sport to everyone else. He went for the slam out the box kind of thing. But yeah, I still don't know what he was thinking. If I'm Patrick Vieira, I'm just saying, why? Why did you do that?
Yeah, it would go out.
Why did you do that in the last minute of the game? But this is the shout. This is the shout. Forshaw bicycle kick versus Brentford.
You ready to try one last night?
For a corner.
Yeah, you meant to try one last night as well. That's it wasn't a complete bicycle kick. It was more
Falling backwards.
a unicycle kick. Or falling backwards. Falling backwards is probably a better word for it. But Ethan, did anyone else impress you yesterday, mate?
Go. Charlie Cresswell.
Charlie Cresswell.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it was a. I mean, yeah. What was he playing about 5? Well, no, he wouldn't even play 5 minutes. Would he? About 2-3 minutes at the end.
Yeah.
He protected the clean sheet anyway. He technically protected the clean sheet. There you
go. He didn't shy away from it when he came on. He got stuck straight in.
Yeah.
I say, I'm still convinced he's 28. I'm not having that he's 18.
Mate, when he ran on last night and I looked at him stood next to Coops when he ran on the pitch, I was like, my God, Coops looks like a dwarf next to him. He's an absolute unit.
He could have got into clubs at like 8, I reckon, Charlie Cresswell. Had a beard at like 8, kind of thing. It was I'm still not having that he's 18. I'm not having that. Anyway, Ethan, I mean, it just looks better, doesn't it, now? I mean, if Everton get battered tonight, which is every possibility they could against Liverpool, we actually go above Everton, which is just mad when you compare it to where it was a few weeks ago. But are you feeling more positive now going into these next couple of weeks?
Okay.
We're only 2 points worse off this season than we were at this stage last season.
Yeah, exactly. With so many injuries.
I would give off Nacho now.
But yeah, I mean, it's the thing is as well is that we look at these next 4 games, but we know this is Leeds United. We know what we do. We do strange things. We might do something mad and go unbeaten over those 4 games and something. It's just you don't know.
No, we will know.
Oh, come on, Ethan! You're the positive one here. Don't be saying that. Be positive. I just looked at what Ethan just said. Oscar, no, we won't. We won't, Oscar. Don't say that. Don't say that. Come on, Ethan. Come on.
We're going with new to Tolkien and get our go and go to Gigi.
We've only lost one. Was it 1 out of the last 7 we've lost now?
Yeah.
1 out of 6.
Yeah,
it's pretty decent either way, isn't it? It's pretty decent either way. But Ethan, I'm going to ask you for a prediction. Before I let you go, I'm going to ask you for a prediction against Brentford. What are you saying?
2-1 Leeds.
2-1 Leeds.
Yeah.
We'll take that. We'll take that all day long. Ethan, absolute legend, mate. I'm going to let you go. We'll see you after we beat them Bees and Thomas Frank next Sunday. Come on, Ethan. Well, mind you, if we don't win that game, me and Chris, I don't know if we can show our faces on this channel for like another. Probably have like a 2 or 3 week ban from this channel.
Yeah.
If we don't win that game. Or if we lose it, it's, Christopher isn't the biggest fan of Thomas Frank, and neither is Jack, actually. Come to think of it, Jack's not the biggest fan either. I don't think anyone really is, to be fair. Yeah, it's anyway, Ethan, I'm going to let you go, mate. I'm going to let you go. Absolutely brilliant to see you again, man.
Yeah.
See you later, mate.
See you, mate.
We did have Michael there. I'm not sure if Michael is around. Okay, I'll just see if Michael can sort his. Looks like Michael's having an issue with his webcam. I can see him, but yeah, I can see you in there, Michael. Anyway, but yeah, Chris, a couple of interesting points there off Ethan. I mean, obviously, if we do win that Brentford game, we could actually theoretically go closer to mid-table than that relegation zone. We could actually move clear, if anything.
Here's a stat for you. Right, strike up the band.
I tell you what, if you turned into Phil and Martin overnight,
in true Joe Wayman style, strike up the band. We're closer to Europe than we are the relegation zone, points-wise.
There you go. It's on.
It's on.
It's
strike
on.
Up the band.
There's still 2/3 of the season to go. Let's go for it.
But the thing is, mate, you're right though. We win against Brentford and we can be looking at that table all of a sudden and going, well, we're comfortably mid-table now before the results go our way as well. It's amazing how quick it changes in this league.
And we know that Newcastle and Norwich are absolutely terrible. So, all of a sudden it's like, for me, unless Newcastle do big business, I think you can say they are in serious trouble. They're in serious trouble. Norwich, yeah, they put a bit of a run together, but that quality thing will soon catch up with them. For me personally, I think this little run of form they're on again.
Yeah, once the new manager bounces, mate, it's gone. I think Norwich.
They've had 80 minutes against 10 men, didn't win the game. Not very convincing that for me. So I personally think Norwich have definitely gone. For me, I might be wrong. I might well be wrong on that, but I think Norwich are ones that are going to really struggle to stay up. Newcastle, again, it seems a bit strange to say Norwich are gone, but Newcastle aren't. But Newcastle, it just depends what they do in January. I still personally think, we've already mentioned this about Dele Alli's and, in terms of, what else have we mentioned? Lacazette's, Pepe's, players that aren't really at it anymore, have gone past their best. I just feel that's that's what they're going to do. Make those kind of signings.
I think the Geordies are going down, mate.
Yeah, I think it's a possibility now. I think it's really. I think as the weeks go by, was it 14 games? We'll play 14 games now, haven't we, this season? They haven't won a game. They're close to that Sheffield United record of I think they went 17 games from the start of the season without a win last season. Yeah, I don't know if that is a record, actually. That might not be the record.
I think Newcastle have drawn 7, lost 7 so far this season. Yeah. It's not. It doesn't look great, does it? And the thing is, to me, they can throw a lot of money at it, which they've got basically a bottomless pit of cash, haven't they? But it's who do they attract?
Yeah. That's quite true.
Money-hungry players aren't the answer, because what you'll find very quickly is a despondent squad, and then then dressing room fallouts, people not playing for the manager. Money doesn't buy you success necessarily. You've got to get the right players in with the right mentality. And who are you going to bring in for a relegation fight if you're rock bottom and cut adrift by January 1st?
It's a risk, though. It's a risk for, say if you're a really promising player from England, Germany, Spain, whatever league you're in. It's a risk joining the bottom team in the Premier League halfway into the season. It's no matter how much money they've got, it's still a risk to your career. It's a short career. You can't just rely on the project and that lot, and whatever they call it. You see so many crash and burn. In terms of obviously QPR's one. There's so many different examples of where they had these big cash injections and it just hasn't worked out. We've seen it across the leagues really, but and that's another point as well that's been made. Obviously, living in Newcastle, compared to your Londons, your Manchesters, and all that lot. I mean, I don't have any. I personally think Newcastle's a far better city than Manchester, but the foreign players seem to like it. Yeah, beyond me, that one, mate.
Oh, mate, I much prefer Newcastle to Manchester. I think Newcastle's mega, but players aren't necessarily going out on the piss on a weekend, are they, all weekend?
That's the trouble. What Newcastle need to do is they need to let the players just do what they want. Enjoy the Newcastle lifestyle, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Get themselves up, get them up to South Shields and that lot. It's a laugh, isn't it? But I think Tash and Reckner is there, but again, I'm not sure. I can't see. Can't see John there. He's not. Looks like his camera hasn't connected.
Yeah, he's there. I can see him.
Oh, can you?
Yeah.
Let's add him in.
Evening, guys.
John.
Mate,
Can you hear me? Yeah, well, thank you. And yourselves?
I can't see John. Right, I'll try going back in and out again. I can't see John.
Oscar's Wi-Fi, man.
Poor, isn't it?
Yeah.
All Wi-Fi, aren't we?
No, it's honestly drama. I don't think mine's great either, to be fair, tonight, but I think he's coming back.
Seems to be a recurring theme. Everybody's Wi-Fi is always playing up. Sometimes Joe's was playing up in the Brighton watch along.
Oh, was it?
I can now see John. See John. How are we, mate?
Yeah, good, thank you. Now that you can see me and I'm no longer a ghost to you.
This is a random shout, but I'm just going to go straight to this. What a random thought this is. I want to hear Messi with a Geordie accent. That's a random comment if ever there is one. But now I've heard the suggestion. I can't get it out of my head. I do want to hear this. But John, anyway, Messi doesn't play for Leeds because we've got a better player anyway. In Rafinha, haven't we? Can you hear me, John?
Oh, yeah. Obviously, yeah. It was cutting out a bit then. So what was the question again?
It's a crazy game, isn't it? It's a crazy game. It felt like it was going 0-0 all the way. Do you feel we deserved it yesterday?
Oh, absolutely. We controlled most of the game, and especially the first half, although there are a few sloppy moments here and there. We've deserved a bit of the rub of the green, especially given the way things have been going with all the injuries and some of the luck that we had, like the way we lost the West Ham game. Of course, yeah, you do need a bit of the rub of the green. Oh, and also the VAR, the fact that now in not two consecutive home games, we've had good VAR decisions. That makes up for stuff that happened earlier in the season, like the Stonewall Dan James penalty in that Newcastle game, when it just got completely cleaned out and the ref didn't even take a look at it. And it's quite funny seeing how everyone was surrounding the ref. It started off with Diego, and then suddenly it's not something that you often see with Leeds, and especially with a Bielsa or a Bielsa team for that matter.
I don't mind it though. I don't mind a little bit of the dark arts, Chris. I quite like it being criticised in the media for the dark arts and that. I don't mind it from time to time. Oh, Chris, we can't hear you, mate. Hang on.
Yeah, sorry, mate. That was.
There we go.
Yeah, I've been critical of our team in the recent past, mate, about being too nice and not getting in the ref's face. And that's a couple of times now I've seen Llorente lead the charge at the referee when something hasn't gone our way. And I love to see it, mate. I think every other team does it, and it's gamesmanship. Do you know what I mean? So if you can't beat them, join them. Like Palace last night, time wasting from about 60 minutes onwards, like terrible time wasting. Just, they deserved everything they got just for that. They were poor for that for me in the last half an hour. Surely a team like Palace is thinking, we can snatch 3 points here. Not, I'm going to take 3,500 years to take a throw in. It just got a bit ridiculous. So I'm pleased we scored in added time. It just makes it
exactly. It cost them +3, wasn't it? +3 minutes. Sums it up. Don't time waste. John, look, let's talk about Forshaw. We're both absolutely massive Forshaw fans. Chris is as well. We all love Forshaw. How good was he yesterday?
Brilliant again. My man of the match as well, like so many other people as well. He just basically mostly pocketed the CG word. Worked well with Calvin. They worked together in neutralising most midfield threats. I think the only criticism I have of him is getting a bit greedy, taking on shots when he could have just laid it off to Rodrigo. He had a cracker of a shot earlier on in the first half as well that wasn't too far out. A bit similar to some of his chances that he tried to take in the first half of the promotion season before he got injured. So there were a few times that he was taking shots and he just missed like by a whiskers margin.
A whiskers margin. I like that. I like that. That's a new one. That's a new one. That it's nice. It's nicer than the analogies Chris tends to use for stuff like that. Anyway, you've used a lot of unrepeatable. I was about to say one of them as well, and I was thinking, no, we don't want to say. It was probably a good idea not to say that out loud. But
What an innuendo was it?
Well, it might have been. It might have been. To be fair, it might have been. But
Must have been about Robin Cobb then.
Well, it's it might have been something to do with that. It might have been something to do with that. John, I mean, players that got criticised heavily criticised after the Brighton game. Junior Firpo, Tyler Roberts, Dan James, probably a few others I've not mentioned there as well. Coop's got a bit of criticism. Calvin, flipping it, yeah, Calvin. No one got more criticism than Calvin. All five massively improved last night, surely.
Massive improvements. Tyler was probably my best player from the Brighton game because he came on and he did help change the dynamic of the game because it was just such difficult conditions. Nothing was working. Yeah, just bringing him on. And because he's good at running with the ball. Yeah, sure, he's still not the best player in the world. But he does run with the ball. He does press. And he's no slouch either. And again, coming back to the analogy, he missed connecting just by a whiskers amount as well. And that would have been a good goal for him and another big confidence booster for him. So, he didn't do anything wrong tonight. Firpo was the biggest improvement last night, despite having another rough first beginning to it all when he just came on, literally gave away that free kick within like 5 seconds of coming on. That was like the nightmare start for him. But a fair play to him. He bottled down, he got stuck in, and he was really making some good moves forward as well. He was linking up very nicely with Rafinha when Rafinha switched over to the left side. And one thing I really did like about Firpo was some of his cutbacks. Yeah. He wasn't just like going in aimlessly crossing into the box. He was trying to do cutbacks and quite purposeful crosses. So
it was stuff we didn't necessarily get from Alioski. Just to throw that argument in there. There's been a lot of comparisons between Alioski and Firpo. Didn't really see that. In terms of Alioski stop, look up, and then put the cross in. They didn't see that from Alioski. That was what Firpo was doing yesterday. He was actually trying to pick out men rather than just fire the ball as hard as you can and just hope one of our players gets on the end of it, or one of their players just shoves it into their own goal. But that was better to see, surely, Sean.
I hope that someone goes onto the M621 to retrieve the ball and not get run over in the process, given how far and wide and out over Alioski's shots used to go sometimes.
But this comment down here, Gary from Men Behaving Badly, Thomas Frank, it's a shout. It's such a shout.
Isn't it?
It's such a shout.
Yeah, now that he mentions it, he does look a bit like Martin Clune's old Thomas Frank.
He does, to be fair. It's it's an exceptional shout, that, from Luke Fisher. I'm going to say that much. It's an exceptional shout, that. He does as well. It's so alike.
People should probably start humming the Men Behaving Badly theme tune during the match just to mock Thomas Frank. Just to get on it. And mind you, he probably won't even know what on earth's going on unless someone points him in the direction of this video. I'll
let Chris say what his thoughts are on Thomas Frank. Actually, no, I won't. We don't want this video
to be seeing Mind the Gap Thomas Frank by full time.
Well, there you go. Where are Brentford? Brentford, what, are they a point ahead of us now? Or I'm not even sure. They are, aren't they? A point ahead of us.
I'll have a look.
Well, if we win, there'll be a gap. There'll be a gap of some sort. But what do you think of this, John? Because John B, other John, has said that this is a must-win at all costs at the weekend. Would you say that much?
I wouldn't say it's so much as a must at all costs, but we really need to be or should be beating Brentford because they don't have a Conor Gallagher, Ivan Toney, who's stepped up to the Premiership. Well, mind you, quite a lot of their players have stepped up quite well, and after starting off and being so high flying, they're really starting to come back down again. Although they did beat Everton over the weekend, but mind you, I think Everton now seem to have quite a few problems of their own with
It
everyone
is
getting
Everton
to
at the end of the
Benitez's
day.
back. And I can imagine they'll probably have quite a few more problems tonight if Liverpool put them to the sword. But that's another team
We
who
could
can
go above them without even playing a game.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, we can probably jump above Everton if everything goes as planned, and if we beat Brentford on Sunday.
Which you probably will, because Everton are known for being particularly big bottlers, to be fair, around my way. So there's a possibility that you are going to get absolutely hammered by Liverpool at home. And it would be quite funny, to be fair.
Salah, though.
It would be fun. It would be funnier if Van Dijk scores against him. That would be even funnier, to be fair. After obviously, I mean, it made their day, that Van Dijk injury. Honestly, you celebrated that more than any of their wins last season. Honestly, around this way, it's madness. But that is Everton anyway. That is the story of Everton. John, anyone else impress you yesterday? I mean, one thing I did ask Ethan was about obviously Dallas had a superb game at right back against Sahar. It looks like Luke Ayling against Brentford will be available to start the game, possibly. Would he start that game for you? Would you go Dallas left back or just hold Ayling off for a couple of weeks?
That's a good one, Oscar. That's a good one.
Now that
we've got nearly a fully fit squad, still with Cock to come back yet, we're going to have a bit of a dilemma. And it's no bad thing. We had a dilemma when that part of the back of the last season when we went on that unbeaten run. Yeah, it's a tricky one. Of course, my philosophy is form, not loyalty, or just because they're the senior player. Sometimes you've got to play yourself back into it. I think it might make sense for Ayling to just bide his time a little bit, especially if Dallas has another absolute cracker of a game at right back. Because he really did pocket Zaha, he really took him to the sword. And I'd probably take a gamble on Firpo again because I was encouraged by some of the stuff that he was doing and the fact that Firpo has had so much adversity to go through. It's basically similar to what Diego was going through this time last year when there was a lot of questions about him when he was constantly getting injured. And when he played briefly in that Chelsea game before he got injured, people were still asking, "Oh, he doesn't look so good. He looks a bit shaky." But of course, yeah. He now look at Diego. Everyone says he's one of our best. He is our best centre back. I know Mr. Wainman refers to him as a Rolls Royce of a centre back, and I would definitely agree with that. He is our best centre back. So yeah,
I think every centre back's a Rolls Royce though. He still calls Strout Virgil van Strout, doesn't he? To be fair,
I love that nickname, Virgil van Strout. I like to call him the Great Kelly sometimes as well. Strout.
That's the one. He does look like the Great Kelly. To be fair, he's probably better. He'd probably have the Great Kelly for me. Because you're normally a good judge of hardness and that lot. Would Pascal take the Great Kelly?
Oh, probably. He's probably a better wrestler than the Great Kelly.
Well, Pascal plays a real game for starters, so yeah, probably.
I love that. I knew you'd hate something like WWE. I knew you'd hate that. Just out of interest, is there any American sports you like?
Nah.
I'm going to say I reckon there's not. I could not see Chris watching any American sports.
I did used to watch wrestling, but I haven't watched it nearly 20 years. I mean, for me, that Attitude Era was at its height when obviously The Rock, proper Kane, before he became a bloody bald, before he went bald and took the mask off. Yeah, those days were the best. So very quickly coming back to who else impressed me along with Dallas. Dan James impressed me last night. He was really getting stuck in with the pressing this time because in that Brighton game, at times looked like he was just jogging at the defence. Maybe that's because he were playing in that weird up top role. So it was nice to see him playing a more natural position, and he really did get stuck in. Looked like he was starting to make good decisions. I think Firpo linking up with him helped quite a bit as well.
Dan James lit the crowd up at one point last night as well with a double challenge. It was superb. Just pressed, tackled one, pressed the next one as it went back. And and we got the ball back. I think the ball sort of pinged out the challenge to Tyler, and the crowd erupted at it. He was superb last night, Dan James. He scared the shit out of their back line and the keeper. He really did with his press.
I'd love to see him running at. Yeah, I'd love to see him running at Pontus in the Brentford game, because Pontus still don't like being pressed. Press Pontus all day long. We have a good chance of winning. Whoever's up front, get Dan James on Pontus, get Rafinha on Pontus. Tyler will probably press the hell out of Pontus as well. Just press him all day long.
I mean, I think obviously you got Pinnock one side, Janssen kind of through the mid. They play a back three, and then Ajer, I think it is, who plays kind of like on the. Janssen's probably the weak point of that back three for me. I'd probably agree with that, John.
Yeah,
I want to give it that.
It wouldn't surprise me if Janssen gets injured over the next couple of days and all of a sudden can't play.
Or if he suddenly binge eats a load of packets of Haribo, and he's suddenly unfit to play because he's had a Haribo overdose.
Haribo overdose. It's that's a new one on me, John. That's a new one on me, but it wouldn't surprise me. It wouldn't surprise me. He pulled out that one the last time we played Brentford. I know that much because I went to that game, the away game. He definitely pulled out that one quite late on. Conveniently, I think he played every single game before that game, every single game after that game. Funny that, isn't it? Funny that, but to be fair, you know what Janssen's like. The thing is with Janssen, John, for me, on Saturday, he will either be 10 out of 10, sorry, Sunday even, he'll either be a 10 out of 10, win absolutely everything, it'll be a vintage Pontus performance, or it'll be a 2 out of 10, he tries too hard, he's trying to charge out of his back line, he's trying to play in midfield and just try stupid things with the ball, getting carried away, chasing the ball for 90 minutes. It's going to be one or the other for me. It won't be down the middle. It'll be one or the other. One of the two extremes. Are you saying the same?
Oh, yeah. That's the same thing as well. Probably more than likely, it'll be the 2 out of 10. Especially if he's got Rafinha, Dan James, Tyler, whoever else pressing him all day long.
I do actually quite like Pontus, though. I have no reason to not like him, but it's just good banter, isn't it? It's just good banter. I mean, Chronicles has been negative here. This is very negative, Chronicles. I mean, don't think about it. Don't think about things like that. Just out of interest, do you think he would celebrate?
No. I think just with the way he's talked about Leeds since he left, I think he's still got a lot of love for the club as Pontus. If we're being completely honest and not just ripping him to shreds because he's, a chest pounder and he's no longer ours. I think he's still got a lot of love for the club and a lot of affection for it. And a lot of his mates are still here playing. It's not like the squad's completely changed since Pontus left. So no, I don't think he'd celebrate, to be honest with you. I think he'd show respect to the club and the fans, if I'm honest.
Okay.
Yep, I agree with that. He's still a professional at the end of the day, and that's why he's Brentford's captain.
And you got to say, to be fair to Janssen, since he's become captain, they've gone from being a mid-table championship team to a team that's actually doing all right in the Premier League.
Mate, let's be honest. They did good business there, getting in for the money they did. They really did do good business. I know he could.
But we did get better centre-backs in.
Yeah, absolutely. But there's always a case with Pontus that he can just have an absolute mare. We've got defenders like that as well. Do you know what I mean? Coops isn't a stranger to having a bit of a mare from that time to time. Although I do think Cooper's mares are getting less and less. I think he's been our best defender this season, over the whole season so far, Cooper. I think he was absolutely brilliant again last night. So underrated because he's become the new Bamford, hasn't he? Since everyone fell in love with Patrick Bamford, it's now we need to dig Cooper out. I think the fans will be nice to Pontus. I think they'll welcome him back, and I think he'll respect the fans and the club if the worst did happen and he did score. So, I don't see any animosity there, really.
Okay. John, I mean, would you agree with what Chris said there about Cooper being our best centre-back so far this season?
Oh yeah, I'd agree. He's had less errors than even Diego. He's our best centre back, but he has been prone to a few errors.
I think every defender is, unless your name's Virgil van Dijk or Ruben Diaz. I think to be honest, outside of that, every centre back's got an error in them in this
We've
league.
seen it with,
Exactly. It's not exactly Harry Maguire at the end of the day.
we've seen it from Van Dijk, haven't we? Against us,
Yeah.
the first game of last season,
Exactly.
when Bamford scored. The problem is, as a defender, is if you make a mistake, it's probably going to lead to a chance and a goal.
Oh yeah.
Whereas a midfielder, you're more likely to get away with a mistake, a missed pass or something. So it is hard being a defender because you do get run over the barrel for any mistakes you make.
Yeah, no, exactly. Goalkeeper's even worse.
Especially when Kiko were playing.
Well, no, he wasn't.
Good job he's no longer here, because you'd fancy him to make another blunder against Brentford like he did in the promotion season.
Well, I don't think you need to say any specific club there, John. I think you just fancy him to make another blunder again. That's what I'd say.
We went from Larder to Rolls Royce, didn't we, with our keepers? Kiko to Melier. We really did.
Yeah, anyway,
definitely.
John, before we let you go, mate, give us a prediction for Brentford, man.
2-0. Another clean sheet.
2-0. I love that.
Rafinha
three clean sheets in a row.
Rafinha and Dan James.
Okay. I'll take that all day long. Anyone scoring, honestly. Anyone scoring at this point. But that'd be nice. That'd be very nice. But John, I'm sure we'll see you after we do beat Brentford 2-0 on Sunday or Monday, depending when we film this, mate.
Yeah. I'll be there.
Absolute legend. Absolutely brilliant to have John on. As always, I'm going to let you go, mate. Thanks so much for coming on again, man.
Cheers, guys. Enjoy the rest of your evening.
Cheers, mate. See you later. Legend is John. And talking of legends, our usual guest, who is always another what's the word for it? Ever present. I don't know what I was going to say all-timer then, but he's still an all-timer, but an ever-present on the All Leeds TV post-match debate. It's Michael, FM Palette. How are you, mate?
Yeah, very well.
Obviously, just see his studio there. I've just got to change the camera angle. He's had a go at me for that, as Michael, to be fair. In terms of the camera angle, it doesn't show his studio. I'm only messing, mate. What did you think? What do you think to the game in general, then? Do you think it was a deserved win?
Yeah, definitely deserved win. Rafinha was, even though he wasn't really dangerous, he done plenty of bits of skill. He was always on the edge of the game, and then came up trumps near the end. He knew what he was.
There's no player you want on that penalty more for me than Rafinha.
No.
Did anyone specifically impress you yesterday, Michael? Obviously, Forshaw got man of the match officially. Would you have gone along those lines?
I would have gone Rafinha, to be fair.
Okay.
Yeah, because
I'm not going to argue against it after he gets the winner.
Because I think he got man of the match by Michael Owen, didn't he?
Ali McCoist gave.
Ali McCoist, yeah.
Okay. Well, fair enough. There was a lot of contenders. Stuart Dallas, another one who was a contender. Yeah. Michael, would you say?
He was back to what I thought was back to his best. He had a great game.
Yeah, I thought it was solid. I thought it was nice and solid yesterday evening. I mean, but obviously we discussed on Saturday at length, to be fair, about obviously 5 players in particular. Let me try and remember them all now. Junior Firpo, Calvin Phillips, Dan James, and who else did we talk about? Coops and someone else, Tyler Roberts. All got heavy criticism on the post-match debate. Off guests or on the actual chat itself. Did you feel they went a long way to prove themselves yesterday and put in much improved performances?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, even Tyler wasn't that bad.
That's a really positive way of saying it, Michael. That's a really, really positive way of saying that. I thought you were a Tyler fan.
Absolutely not. Absolutely
I
not.
genuinely did, to be fair.
Did you?
I think you've swapped sides there, mate. I think you swapped sides.
No. Definitely not Tyler fan at
What's
all.
your mate to Click coming off at half time?
Obviously, he wanted to try something different. Obviously, he's not quite up to speed yet. Um, yeah, and so it's probably the right decision. I'll never question Bielsa, to be fair. So, yeah.
Okay. Well, one big contentious point is obviously looks like Luke Ayling will be back available for Brentford from the start. Would he come back in for you, Michael? Would you maybe put Ayling at right back, Dallas at left back, or keep it as it was?
No, because he's only played 45 minutes, hasn't he? So, I wouldn't up at Dallas there still. He probably
Okay.
needs a few more games at under 23s, to be fair.
Fair enough. I definitely agree with this temp name. I definitely agree with this. I think Chris and Scott are the main Tyler fans on this channel. I think they've been long term fans of Tyler Roberts. Isn't that right, Chris?
Yeah, Tyler got lucky when Costa left, and there was just Tyler left to rip on. But I have got to say, mate, I said it earlier as well. His endeavour can't be questioned. I just don't see the killer instinct from him. If he had the killer instinct, he'd have scored in the first half last night with that ball across from Dallas. But can't question his endeavour. And actually, watching him firsthand last night, he was making some great runs off the centre back. We just weren't finding him. So it's not his fault that he's not being found at times. So he was better than what I expected of him, which is good. And I just hope he can kick on if he gets a bit of confidence from that. I think he's one of those players, he needs a goal and then a glut of them may come. I don't know, but Bamford's soon going to be back and we might find that Tyler is back on the bench anyway. So, but it's nice to have options in it finally, rather than 15-year-olds having to travel because we've got no one left.
I mean, do you think, Michael, that Tyler's best position is centre forward now, rather than as a number 10 or winger or midfielder?
Yeah, he's definitely centre forward. It's just that he, like Chris said, needs to be more clinical.
Because their currency is goals at the end of the day. I mean, goals or in terms of influence in play to a high degree, which obviously Bamford's done. Bamford's obviously got goals as well, but in terms of linking up play as well. But goals and link up play is the main currency for pretty much any striker, isn't it, really, to make things happen and make the ball stick ultimately in that final third.
I think with last night is if that had been Bamford, if put Bamford in Tyler's position last night and they play exactly the same, we'd all walk away going, Paddy did all right last night. He worked hard. We saw his usual hard work, stuff like that. So I think we've got to give Tyler the same sort of respect for what he did. And I do agree with Michael. I think he needs to improve in areas, but I've also got to give credit where it's due. And he was okay. He was better than okay last night. He was pretty good. He's just got to do it over. But we've said this before with Tyler, haven't we? One game out of every 5 or 6 being good isn't good enough. It needs to be consistent, and 4 or 5 games out of 6 where he's got to show up. So hopefully he does, because the more players we've got in form, the better for us. So fingers crossed he kicks on.
Absolutely. Yeah. No, absolutely. I mean, Michael, did anyone else impress you yesterday?
Obviously, it's really good to see Calvin back to his best position, and then clear up what I thought was rubbish at the start. When he got questioned for his not attitude, but falling out with Bielsa. So yeah, it's good to see that and him back to his best.
Yeah, no, it was a good interview, I thought, from Calvin. It was a mature interview that he gave. He didn't just say Jamie Redknapp talks absolute nonsense. He just said it in a classy way. He just put the fire out, kind of thing. Well, there wasn't a fire in the first place, but you know what I mean. The doubts, you put the doubts away. Michael, what do you make to this in terms of goals? Obviously, in terms of open play, we didn't actually score from open play yesterday. But do you think goal scoring is an issue at this moment in time?
It is at this moment in time, yeah. But
do you think it's solved purely from Bamford coming back into the team? Well, not entirely, but a large percentage of it is sorted from Bamford being back in.
Correct, yeah. We're relying on Rafinha at the moment. That was his sixth of the season. We're just relying on him too much.
Already equalled last season's tally, by the way, Rafinha. Already equalled last season. What we just over a third of the way into the season as well. So very impressive, very encouraging.
Yes, very much so. Yeah. So
I think for me, Bamford solves the goal issue if we play like we did last night. If we play like we did against Brighton, then no, he doesn't, because the ball doesn't get anywhere near him. If we play like last night and we're creating chances and there's crosses coming in the box, then yes, Bamford solves that issue for me.
Yeah, definitely.
We'll play every game like we did last night, though, Chris. You know this.
Fingers crossed. The
Brighton game was just a test. It was just a test. That was all.
Test of my patience.
You lose your patience. Never. But Michael, I mean, that Meslier save as well has to be mentioned. I mean, the Spider-Man, Dr. Octopus, whatever you want to call it, whatever Spider-Man character you want to describe him as, it was pretty incredible.
It certainly was. Good reactions, wasn't it?
Unreal reactions. I mean, if he'd been a second earlier, if he dived a second earlier, dived a second later, he probably doesn't get to the ball.
No, he practiced in training, I suppose, so he's sort of used to it type thing.
That's the thing. Solid goalkeepers, they win you points. And if Palace had gone 1-up at that point, they probably would have seen it out in terms of the way the game was going at that stage of it.
Yeah, definitely.
I think the good thing is with Meslier with last night is, apart from that, he had a relatively quiet game, which is a positive. It's not like we've seen in other games this season where he's made 4 or 5 top-class saves, had to make them. He's made one, which was superb, that one where he dragged it off the line. But apart from that, I don't remember him really having a save to make as such. So, which is why I thought Coops and Llorente and Dallas and both Pascal and Firpo, when he came on, had decent games in front of them, and Calvin and Forshaw in front of them. Calvin looks so much more content in there with Forshaw in and around him. He's not having to run his knackers off for 90 minutes and do 3 people's jobs. He's just all looking a bit more composed and organised now.
Yeah.
Do you think, Michael, we'll see any changes to that start 11 from the Palace Palace game last night for Brentford? Do you think Click starts again? Pascal obviously at left back. Do you see that being the case again going into this one?
I would like to see Bamford in, but I can't see it, to be fair.
From the off?
Yeah, but I think he'll be on the bench. And he'll go.
Yeah, it's an interesting one, Bamford. What's going to happen? I'd imagine the bench to start off with, and maybe starting the Chelsea game the week after, or the City game 2 games after that. I don't think I would be surprised. I'm not going to be totally surprised, because Bamford's like Hayden, like Forshaw, like Phillips. When they're fit, they tend to play no matter what, because there's players that Cooper as well. Obviously Coops comes in when he's fit, and that tends to be the way Bielsa manages things. So, it wouldn't surprise me.
What I like is when we've got Bamford back in, the spine of the team looks strong again. So, Meslier, Coops, Llorente, Forshaw and KP and Bamford. That's a strong spine, is that now? And then you've got all the flair and pace in and around them. I think things are looking up. Let's hope that these players returning and a decent run of form now take the Spurs loss out of it. We're gathering good points at the minute. So as long as we beat Brentford, and then we can say, okay, we found a bit of form now, because then we can go into those with the so-called bigger teams. We can go into those games with a bit more freedom, not the panic of being 17th and 2 points off relegation, And we know as a squad and the way Bielsa likes to play, we perform better as a team when the pressure's off.
Yeah,
We've seen
of
it
course
constantly with his team.
Yeah.
No, absolutely, massively. I mean, Michael, is there anything else you want to add before I let you go, mate?
Not really. No. Thought Coots played really well.
Yeah. Again,
yeah.
I mean, would you agree with Chris's comment earlier that Coops has been our best centre back so far this season?
Yeah, I'll go along with that. Yeah. Yeah, he's had a great
Popular
season.
take, Chris. Popular take, CK. I agree as well. To be honest, I agree. I think Llorente would be the popular choice in terms because he does sexier things with the ball. There's no denying that. But I think in terms of over the season consistency, I'd say Coops. To be honest, I would say Coops. I think he's had a very underrated start to the season.
Yeah.
And that's it. I'll be honest with Coops. I don't want to jinx anything, and I'm not going to jinx anything here. But I can't think, other than that Arsenal game, obviously in terms of that Nketiah goal, Coops obviously heading it back, not putting enough on the header. I can't think of any games where Coops has really made a mistake. To be honest, other than that.
No, I can't.
That's one game, a cup game.
He's had some what I term Cooperisms, where he's just not done the right thing. But that's split second decision making, and anyone can be culpable of that. But as far as big mistakes and giving up goal chances, no, not really. I can't think. I think he's been really solid. I do.
Yeah.
No, absolutely. Michael, before I let you go, mate, give us a prediction for Brentford.
I'm going 3-0.
Oh, I'd love to see that.
Just to check, 3-0 Leeds.
Yeah, 3-0.
Just had to clear that up.
As well. So maybe 3-0 by half time, so I can actually enjoy half of football rather than
No, Chris, that is not the way we do things. It'll be 0-0 at half time, and it'll be as soon as one goes in, I'll just come flying in. That is what's happening. That is what's happening. And Thomas Frank will get sent off or something, just as a little bonus for Chris, just for old CK over there.
You can come stand next to me if you want.
His face said he said that.
I can't stand him, mate. I can't.
Never with a guest, mate. Never with a guest at all. But
what don't you like about him, Chris?
You, Jack, and Thomas Frank on a night out in Leeds.
I can't say what I don't like about him, mate. Me and Jack will get banned.
Let's not go into specifics. That's probably the best way of putting it.
Just looking at his face it just irritates me. Just sitting,
it angers you.
He just comes across as all smarmy in his interviews. You're like, oh, you greasy whopper, do one.
Anyway, on that note, Michael, thanks so much for coming on as ever, man. Studio's looking absolutely beautiful. Where can we find you, mate?
FM Palette on YouTube, FM Palette on my Instagram, and on Twitter as well.
Check him out, guys. Check him out. What are you pushing up to now? You're almost on 500, aren't you, mate?
Yeah, I am indeed. Yeah.
Keep pushing. Let's get into 500. Come on, guys. Get searching for FM Palette. Superb Football Manager content and Leeds United content. Check him out, guys. Michael, absolute pleasure as always, mate. Going to let you go. And hopefully, when we beat Brentford 3-0 and Thomas Frank's had his talking to from CK, you'll jump on, mate.
I will.
Lovely. Love that. Absolute legend of a man. I'm going to let you go. Michael 20,
Cheers,
guys. See you later, mate.
See you later, buddy.
So, mate, I think we'll leave it there. We've just done over an hour there on Leeds 1, Crystal Palace 0. It looked like finishing 0-0 all the way, but we get the win. And we're going to go above Everton today. I feel it, mate. I feel it. We're going to go up a place.
I am thoroughly looking forward to the Merseyside derby because I think
I certainly am as well.
Absolutely wonderful.
Family full of Evertonians. Bitter as I don't know what about Liverpool. I just need Van Dijk to score in that game. It would be very, very funny. But anyway, guys, on that note, I'm going to leave it there. Big thanks to CK. Big thanks to you guys for watching. And make sure you check out in just over an hour's time is Leeds United Lasses at 8:30. Check it out, guys. And if you haven't done already, check out Chris's post-match, Tash and Jack's joint post-match. and the fan cam from yesterday as well. And we'll be straight into your Leeds versus Brentford pre-match content as well from tomorrow. So big thanks to you guys for watching, and we are going to leave it there. And it's going to take about 40 seconds for this to end, and we're going to have to. I can't even end the stream now because having trouble ending. CK, I think you're going to have to end the stream there, mate. I can't end it from my end.
Cool. Right. Okay. That's us. Right. See you later. Thanks, everyone.